So are you still on that major rush from recording the Shaka Khan song the other night?
Well, we wrapped it up. I got the final mix last night. Oh my god, it's so fucking. Oh, I shouldn't swear, but dope. Like, no, yeah, we got the final mix last night. So what I'm doing, I'm sending the vocals of the rapper who's on the track over to the producer. So he'll dump them into the track tonight, and we're gonna perform it tomorrow at the event.
Are you?
Yeah,
That's awesome. I mean, because you're always on the go anyway.
Yeah, you know it. Like I think I said to you the last time when we did, not the last interview, it was the first one we did. If you don't do it, who's going to do it for you?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm a perfectionist and a control freak, I guess.
but see, there's nothing wrong with being a control freak, because I love the idea, because that means that you've got the courage to step forward.
Yeah, and I'm hands on it in everything. You know. Everything you see me do or put out there is controlled by me.
Yeah.
You know, I have people that contribute and help execute it, but if it's my direction, it's my vision, it's my story, it's my artistry, if I could say that, you know.
Well, I don't know where you get the courage to let where you relinquish control of your voice, because when it comes to producing commercials, I won't let anybody touch my voice. It's just me. So as a musician, you're letting them play with your vocals.
Right. Well, what I do is I will record my vocals independently.
Okay.
That I will do, and before I used to have a producer, you know, be in a session with a producer, and they would control the whole session. And they'll say, you know, Aaron, sing this song, sing this line a bit differently, or let's not use that lyric. And then I'd get the final product, and I'd feel like, well, this is not really 100% me. And like I said earlier, I'm so technically impaired, I don't know how to push the buttons. I know.
This would be a cartoon of me right here, you know.
I know what I can hear, and I can say this is what I want, but I don't know how to physically do it. And it's only on this album, on the Electric Erotica, I recorded that whole album vocally, independently by myself for the first time ever in my career.
Wow.
And I went out and bought the microphone, I bought the program, and I kind of learned the little basics of the program as much as I could, but I kind of winged it a lot, you know. And I recorded, 18 songs independently by myself, alone, naked in my room, you know. I would roll out of bed, I would go downstairs, the studio's actually downstairs, and I would just wake up and I'd go down and do a session completely by myself. And the one thing I also learned was how to do, I used to write my songs on paper, and I'd go down and it was all written out. And then I think the second song into the album, I was writing cold and singing cold straight into the microphone. I knew the track, I'd get the track.
Right.
I'd go down, put the track into the program, then just sing. And whatever just came out, I would build on that.
Do it, ignite me with it, make love to me, electric erotic.
That's so funny that you bring that up, because last night I took what I call the cat nap. But when I woke up, I instantly turned on the recorder because I wanted to start a thing called vocal journaling. That immediately as you come out of your sleep, what is on your mind, and start talking about it. But this is how it sounds. And so today I'm trying to decipher it.
Luckily, I didn't sound like that. Maybe the one or first two takes, but I would lock myself in. No, but seriously, I used to be so organized and so structured that way. I'd have everything written down. And in the second song into the album, I was recording like 15 tracks cold,
really,
right off the spot. And to be honest with you, I'd get so excited because I'd be like, where did this come from? And I felt like I was being spoon-fed from something, literally. And I get so excited, like, oh my God, like, how did that come? And then now, like, back to your question, like, I won't record with anyone else. Well, I mean, I will, but I've got to be in control of it.
Right.
And what I do, I lay down my vocal tracks, and then I'll send all the tracks over to my mix guy, and he'll mix it all and put it in place where it's supposed to be, and then send it over to the producer, and then they've got a full set of vocals to play with.
So what do you do? What do you do during those moments when you've got to punch at it? Because when I was in the studio recording, and they would say, okay, we're going to re-record this area here, I'm sitting there and I get too antsy, and I feel like I'm attacking the vocal. Do you do the same thing?
I literally have the computer here and the mic here, and my fingers on the record button.
Yeah.
And I would sing, and if it felt right. And if it didn't feel right, or there was a note flat or sharp,
Yeah.
I just go back and record another take.
But
I mean, when I record a song, I mean, there's hundreds of about 100 tracks.
yeah.
And my mix guy, his name's Virgo. He's down in Florida, and he literally, I'm sure he wants to kill me because he'll get a bunch of files, and he's got to put that together.
Yeah.
I've gotten better because I now eliminate what I don't know, what I don't want. I know what I don't want, so I'll kind of be a little bit organized for him, for his sake. But if it feel, I go by feel. I'm never been technically trained as a dancer. Yes, I was trained as a dancer. I did ballet as a kid and did modern and all that stuff. But as a singer, I've never been trained as a singer. I go by feel. If it feels right, and there's a vibe and a flow and and the notes are in the pocket, 90%, then I'm good with that. Then if there's a note that's sharp or flat, I'll go back and correct a line.
Right.
Or
Yeah,
a word.
but don't you ever have one of those moments though where if you do go sharp a little bit on a song, that it changes the course of a song? You go, wow, I think I'm gonna go this way now with it because
Right?
because it
Yeah.
made it so unique.
Yeah, absolutely. I could. Yeah. So, well, obviously, I'm not hitting this note quite good right now. So I could now, find a different way to sing it. And when I was a kid, I used to get really bent out of shape, or in my teens, because being a kid and you're in awe of all these major celebrities or stars that you grew up listening to,
Right.
and you just think they're geniuses, But at the end of the day, and I learned this from Simon Cowell actually, and he said to me, the world's best singers, Celine Dion, even Whitney Houston back in the day, they would take a week to record a whole vocal.
Yeah.
A whole,
Yeah.
what you're hearing on the final finished was days and days or maybe a couple of weeks of work. I heard that Michael Jackson, worked on one track for weeks, months. And I used to think I was inadequate because, I'd be singing and I'd be maybe not hitting the mark or whatever. And the producer will be putting a face or getting a bit frustrated. And I used to make myself feel inadequate. Maybe I wasn't good enough.
Right.
To even be doing this. And then Simon Cowell one night in the car, and I told him, after a session, we were driving back from where the studio was, and I mentioned this to him. He said, "Aaron, the world's best artists take weeks with their art.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, they're still human." And you're going to make errors, and it's all temperamental how you feel on the day, the connection, the chemistry with the producer or whoever you're working with.
Yeah.
And that was a major learning curve for me, because that's when I said, you can make mistakes. You are human, and you're not always going to get it right. And you can do this.
Do you ever have one of those moments, though, where you look at yourself in the mirror and you go, you talk about getting used to the producer or liking the producer, but looking in the mirror going, I don't like you today, but you've got to go in there and perform no matter what.
Yeah. And producers and photographers.
Yeah.
99% of the time, I'm pretty good. The chemistry works. And I think it comes from years of just being in this business and knowing what to do. I'm confident, they're confident. Couple of times you might meet that one person, it just doesn't gel, for whatever reason. And you just have to keep going through the whatever the project is, and just try to get the best you can out of it.
So in that moment when you don't gel, what is that go-to movement that you do? Because you'll see me do this. If I'm in a moment, it's almost like I'm trying to switch characters. I'll do something like this. Alcohol. It's like, I'll be back. It's the mailman at the door.
Seriously, you give me a shot or two before that I'm all yours. I can take whatever you give me. But I'm not encouraging people to drink. But alcohol will kind of ease the nerves and kind of open your inhibitions, if that makes sense.
So then, do you ever find yourself in a situation where Simon Le Bon was really good at taking his vocals into a higher range than I think he needed to be, but yet at the same time, it gave that band that uniqueness. Do you ever bend your vocals that far up to where that it doesn't have to go there, but you want to take it there?
Oh yeah, but I mean, I'm a bit blessed, I guess, because for some reason I've always sung high.
Yeah.
I have a very high voice.
Do you wanna play? Oh, yeah.
Khan song, right? And I mean, Shaka Khan's a beast, you know. I mean, if you're gonna mess with a Shaka Khan song, you got to get it right, you know. Otherwise, it's gonna get killed, you know, by Shaka and the audience. I'm sure. So, you know, and I was doing the background vocals, and we did Ain't Nobody, and there's some real top highs in there, and that song beat my ass. I have to admit you. I mean, I reaching up there and belting it. And, you know, luckily I was able to kind of get it, but there are times and moments when it's work. You work your ass off, you know?
And when because I did a song about 2 years ago that it involved some high background notes. And does it bother you when people come in and say, who's singing that back there? And you kind of...
Yes, that happens all the time.
And you have to... It's like, did you like... I want to ask him, did you like it? Because if you didn't like it, I'm going to give you a different answer.
Shall I tell you what I get? Who's those girls in the background?
That's it. my dad used to think that the Bee Gees were girls. He'd say, turn those girls off.
And one major producer I worked with, he said, you know, and we'd done many songs together. And then one day he turned me and said to me, who are those girls you get into the sessions? You didn't know that was me, you know?
Yeah, but even to get into those higher moments, I swear it's a spiritual journey because you're getting into the song, and all of a sudden it's like you open up and you take your vocals up that high. And you've got to be in that moment.
Oh, yeah.
You can't force it.
You can't force it. I don't know where I kind of go into a zone.
Yep.
There's the work zone, and then there's this I call it the passion zone, where it's real and it's from the heart.
Right.
You know? And you absorb, you get lost in the moment. Your eyes are closed, and you're in this zone, and you know whatever executes out of your voice, that's it. You know, and like I said, I've never been trained as a singer, and you know, and maybe training will make me better, sure. But I'm so impatient, you know. I'm like, I want to go out there and just throw me in the mix. Let me do me. And feel this, you know?
And yet last week I was talking to a band out of Sweden because they're very classically trained. And I said, do you ever get the opportunity to just be normal? Because when they listen to music, I'm sure they break it down. Whereas where you're not classically trained and stuff, I mean, you're going, I'm going to take a chance. And to me, that's the rawness of music.
I take a chance all the time. Yeah. For many reasons, you know. Financial reasons, what do financial reasons have to do with this? Exactly. You know, and by the grace of whatever, you know, I'm able to kind of pull through. I'm sure with other things, it could be better, yes, but you know, you work within your means, obviously, and like you said, sometimes the rawness is what counts.
Right.
You know, and you know, back to recording and or mixing vocals. If you listen to a lot of artists, especially like the top 40 nowadays, the computer's doing half the work.
It is. Yeah.
You know, and I come from the old school where you went into a session. Yes, you recorded your leads, and then you recorded background, and then you recorded your ad-libs. You know, and that's the way I was trained, and I learned from being around the Simon Cowell machine. Yeah. Now, recently, in the last maybe 3 years, when I went back into recording again, and I was working with different producers, you know, remixers, DJs, whatever, and I would say, okay, I've done my leads, I've done, you know, that's all good, we got what we need there. Let me record backgrounds.
Yeah.
And they would look at me like I was crazy. Oh no! And they would say, no, the computer does that for you. We're good at. And I'm like, not, you know, that's not real. And how can you duplicate that live?
Right.
You know?
Right.
And I mean, I get it for the current times and sounds, yes, trends, yes, effects and computers do their thing, yes. And you do use them for the current sound, but still the rawness of my vocals, I will go and record backgrounds. I mean, I do 4 tracks per harmony.
Right.
Then stack them.
Yep.
You know? Yep. And you get that rich, lush, thick sound, you know? And that's the way I learned. And that's the way I feel a record should sound. Or especially my records anyway. You gotta
love it though when you're stacking your vocals and you're harmonizing with yourself, because it's almost like there's you already know that you've got multiple personalities, and all of a sudden they're all there.
Tell me about it.
You can name them.
You know what? Some of my songs, I started. It's just me down there in the session in the studio, and then I come out with a gospel choir.
That's it.
And it's all me.
Then you feel like Freddie Mercury, you know? It's like,
yeah. But look at back, there's a prime example. Yeah, look how he did it.
Yep.
You know, and back then you didn't have the technology we had today.
Exactly.
It was pure Freddie working his butt off, you know, and giving you that classic sound that lasts forever.
Yeah.
You know, and he would still kind of duplicate that on stage live. You know.
Yeah.
And that's what's lacking. That we spoke about this the other day again. You know, when you see these artists, they can't duplicate what is on the record. You know, and yes, you know, microphones and sound, what you're hearing back at you affects your performance. Yes, but it's still, you've got to give your rawness. If you can do what you do in the studio and then produce that on stage, whether it's in a dive bar, whether it's at, Madison Square Gardens, you're set. You've learnt your craft. You know. And that's what I find these days, especially the artists. I mean, I get the machine. I've been part of that machine, and that's fine. You know, and the financial end of that machine is great. But if you can't duplicate your craft,
that's right,
on a stage, whether it's in a dive bar in Minnesota or at Wembley Stadium, then you're lost.
Have you ever been in one of those live situations where it's outside, it's a little windy outside, some pollen in the air, and the music is going great, you're really getting into it, you open up the microphone and your voice isn't there. And all of a sudden, that's the one thing you carry your whole entire set, is because your voice didn't show up on the first note.
Well, I tell you this, we used to when I was in the boy band, you know, we'd been doing, concert venues, 5,000 to 8,000 people, 10,000 people. And, you know, when I perform, I give 1,000%.
Right, exactly.
You know? And I would wake up in the morning the next day, nothing there. Nothing there. Right. And I would say to the band members, I would say, God bless us tonight. I don't know what is going to come up there's nothing there. Yeah. You know? And then you got to do the photo shoots and you got to do the interviews and blah, blah, blah during the day. Then it's concert time, showtime, you know. By the grace of whatever, showtime, it will just magically appear.
Yep.
And I can do a full show.
Well, don't you think that's because it's not you, really? There's something in you that's there. But the self that you think you know isn't really that person.
Absolutely. And I hear this from other artists too, especially like the major ones. You go into this other persona, this other personality, this other zone, yep. and even now, I mean, I am being me. Trust me, and what you're getting is 100% me, but you're still giving a lot more than you would give on your daily out and about.
That's right.
You know, it just kicks in. It just kicks in. And, you know, being in this business for a while, you kind of know what you're doing. You know when to turn it on, when not to, you know, how to gauge yourself. And, you know, and I'm blessed by I've had that experience when I can do that, you know?
Yeah. What is the best way for someone to follow you so that they can check your videos out?
I would, my website, www.aaronpoole.dance, www.aaronpoole.dance, not .com, .dance.
Oh,
yeah.
I like that, .dance. That's very unique.
Yeah, because, it's very unique. And, you know, I'm a pop dance artist, and that was available as a domain name because someone stole my Aaron Poole official.
It was the cameraman here. He's raising his hand. He's doing that. He did it, all right?
He stole it?
Yeah.
How much did you pay for it? I found that someone in Japan bought it. So obviously they see potential that they had to own that name. So good on them. So I got the .dance, and there's my Twitter at apoolmusic and Instagram at Aaron Poole Music.
We got to do this more often, man. This is so fun.
Yeah,
we got to do this.
Cool. I mean, I don't know what it's about you, Arrow. What I like about you, you get to the nitty gritty. You talk about what's important, which is the music, and the hoopla is important too in the machine. I get all that too. But with you kind of bring it down to the basis, and that's what I like, you know?
Well, I think it's because you and I, as creative minds, we're teaching people how to open up their creative mind. And I've got to ask those questions, and in the same way, you've got to answer those questions.
Right.
And because you don't know on the opposite side of this screen who's going to be going, I want to be like Aaron. I want to be like Aaron. Aaron got to be himself.
Yeah.
And that to me is what it's all about.
Absolutely.
So we're going to blame it on Casey Kasem, okay?
Is that who you learned from?
Oh my God,
Yeah.
Casey Kasem, Dick Clark, Wolfman Jack. Oh baby, it's a Wolfman Jack show.
Right, see?
All right,
And
baby.
that's a prime example. You go back to the originators, to the legends,
Yeah.
you know, that paved the way. And I do that with everybody. I mean, and even music that I'm not maybe fond of, but I would look at the imagery, I would look at the execution,
Right.
and the marketing.
Yeah, oh,
You know,
that's important.
Yeah, and I'll pull from everyone. You know, everyone that's in the past. Unfortunately, these days there's not much to pull from, and I find, especially with the current crop that's out there.
Right.
But I get it; they're doing their thing, and great for them. But me, I will always go back to the originators.
Don't you love those moments though, when you talk about the marketing and making sure that you're everywhere and things like that, and people kind of look at you like you're like, what are you, stuck on yourself? And that's not it at all. No, I'm confident enough that I did this, that I'm pushing myself out there to make it happen. And it's like, and the door's open. Let me show you how to do it.
Absolutely, absolutely. I make sure that, you know, when I put out something, that I've done my research.
Exactly.
You know, I don't know. I'm not everything. I'm not the best. I'm not the, you know, but I'm confident in what I do.
Yep.
And I'm not, to tell you the truth, I'm not concerned what others are doing. I'd appreciate and respect, but I'm happy when someone achieves success. I'm very happy for them.
Right.
But I can only I can only concentrate on what I do.
That's right.
You know?
Yep.
And that's the way I see it.
You are your own river headed to an ocean.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely. And trust me, don't be wrong, I'm happy for anyone. I mean, this business, as you know, is hard. It's hard. And you hit brick walls, you'll get stuff thrown at you, you know, along the way. It's not an easy path for anyone.
Right.
You know?
Right.
And especially, you know, things are a little bit easier now with the technology, yes.
Yeah.
But imagine back in the day what they went through. You know, you imagine, and for them to achieve, you know, the Tina Turners, those kind of names. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To hold their weight and be considered legends, but to get there, it wasn't easy for them.
That's right.
It wasn't easy. It's and I said to people, and I think I have it in one of my songs, one of my I have a song called Haters on the album. You don't know the sacrifice it takes to get to where you are.
Sing it to me.
I've got to remember the words. You don't know the sacrifice to choose a life in the public eye with vicious queens and their jealousies, 'cause I don't care to fall to their knees. There you go.
Excellent. Have a brilliant day today, sir.
Errol, thank you so much.
You
You are the best. That's all I can say.
You're the
You know,
best, dude.
thank you.
Keep in touch with me, okay? Like you do through Facebook and all that
Always.
stuff. Excellent.
You know that.
Excellent.
You know I will. Absolutely.
Excellent. Thank you,
Brilliant.
sir.
All right.
Thank you.
Be good.
Bye-bye.